I don't know about you, but I have been spending way too much time on my computer and on my phone. And although technology does give us nearly unlimited access to information and images and artistic resources, I have been finding myself less and less inspired and more just overwhelmed. So, to help my art, I have been leaving the digital realm and seeking out a more tangible physical inspiration. I'm venturing out into the world to see if I can find my muse. And today I'm going to share some tips that might help you too. The first thing that I recommend is just go somewhere wild. Wild nature always inspires me so much. There's a swamp that I like to go to that feels very wild, and I visited it recently. It's beautiful and very green and peaceful and quiet. And it's also home to a bunch of carnivorous plants like Venus flytraps and pitcher plants and sundews. And I really like to visit these plants in the spring and watch them start to grow, and in the summer and watch them really get big and tall and go totally wild. The vivid colors of this area make me feel so alive, but I think what really gets me inspired is the combination of the beauty and hopefulness of the new growth combined with the decay and the rot of the old swamp matter. Maybe a better example of the combination or the contrast is the beautiful flowers that are growing out of plants that are intended to lure and trap bugs. I just think there's something so wonderful in the combination of like the ugliness and the beauty and the growth and the death. I just really like nature like that. I think nature in its wildest form is something that you can't find anywhere else. After my trip to the swamp, I went home and I started drawing, and I really wanted to convey the colors and the wildness of my visit. And so I did a little watercolor wash and started using colored pencils to kind of put down on the page what I was envisioning. Here's another tip for finding inspiration in your world. Go to places that have an identity. Settle into the place and really immerse yourself in the atmosphere. I visited a historical botanical garden, and I was just so taken with the experience. I think it's really special when a place knows what it is, and this place definitely did. I spent a lot of time walking around and just seeing it, and there were hundreds of years old live oaks covered in Spanish moss, which I just absolutely love. I spent a long time walking by the water, and I saw this pavilion, and I felt like I was transported back in time. I walked around for a good long while, and I just looked at the plants, and I saw some turtles, and tried to just take in everything about it. And I decided that I wanted to sit down and draw for a little while. I've been working on being braver about plein air drawing and making art in public, and I was just feeling so compelled to record what I was seeing in my sketchbook. And so I sat down near a fountain underneath a live oak branch, and I just sort of did a messy pen drawing of what I saw. I didn't get too hung up on making it perfect or getting every detail down, but I just really wanted to represent what I was seeing and what I was experiencing, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I really liked getting the feeling of needing to draw something that I was seeing. That's not something that I get from using the computer or using the internet, but in person, there's something so amazing about having just the feeling of, I need to draw this right now. I also recommend exploring art history in your area. This is different than being involved in the current art scene, which is also a good thing if you can do it, but learning more about the people that made art before you. For example, in this botanical garden, there was a section dedicated to Minnie Evans, who is a notable artist in the area. She was born in the late 1800s in North Carolina, and she had a deeply religious upbringing in the Jim Crow South. In her later life, she worked as a gate attendant at this botanical gardens for about 25 years, and she had a spiritual vision that commanded her to draw or die, and so she spent a lot of her life making art. Her work is intricate and it's weird and it's almost a portal into another world, and I just love her work. I think the colors and the patterns are so unique, and I really love the combination of religious themes and botanical imagery. To me, her art feels like a series of dreams. The sculpture garden dedicated to her had a chapel made of bottles and seashells and angel sculptures, and I just think it's really cool that the garden dedicated a section to her. And if you haven't heard of Minnie Evans, I definitely recommend you check her out. She is really an amazing artist. While I of course value being able to connect with all kinds of artists and all kinds of people via the internet or other technology, I do think that there's something really unique and really special about understanding the world that you are physically located in and being able to understand what inspired the people around you and the people that came before you, and having a little bit of a regional context to what's going on. My last tip for making the world your muse is remembering that you too are part of the world. Get out there, do something, try something new. I went to a park that I had never been to, and I took my art supplies with me. As I mentioned, I am challenging myself to make more art in public, and it feels very vulnerable to me and very scary, but I think it's important that you do stuff that does challenge you and does push you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. I was feeling very inspired by Minnie Evans' work after having visited the Botanical Garden, and I decided that I wanted to do something that was a little bit inspired by her, and so I started drawing this little gremlin man with multiple noses and kind of going off of her sort of visual style. Something that I try to remind myself is that we are all part of the world, and if we want to be inspired by it, we have to participate. Putting yourself out there to see things, meet strangers, have new experiences, it's such a crucial part of finding inspiration. Of course, you can find inspiration in routines or in repeated actions or going to the same place over and over again and seeing new details every single time, but I think that I find the most inspiration when I have a new experience and it gives me more information to think about other things in my life differently. I didn't finish my drawing, but just going outside and doing something new in a different place, it was a very rewarding experience. I hope this was helpful and that you feel inspired to go out and explore the world. And I know that there are so many other ways that we can find inspiration in the world, but these are the things that have been helping me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.